Our guests on tonight's show are, were, and maybe one day again will be Deutsche Amerikanische Freundschaft, known as D.A.F for short, a German electro duo who burned briefly but brightly in the early 1980s. Robert Goerl played drums and sequencers, Gabi Delgado Lopez played his voice, and sort of strummed on the German language. And between them, they opened up new possibilities in electronic music, building bridges between the sound of New York gay disco clubs and the avant-garde machine music of German sound labs. The pair met up again recently, for the first time since they split in 1982, to promote the CD reissue of their 3 albums, Für immer, Alles ist gut and Goldene Liebe. I asked Robert Goerl first how they went about constructing the darkly distinctive sound of D.A.F.
Our approach was very kind of more deeper electronic, kind of almost like we already said many times, like we make the electronic sweat. It sounds funny to make the electronic sweat, but this was kind of the idea actually, to get the electronic instruments working almost like they would breathe or whatever, yes. Not just like mechanical kind of output. Like in the loops, for example, when a loop is running, this kind of edge which breathes almost, not just tuck 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 tuck, more like like a more flow approach.
And Gabi, how did you see your role as vocalist in relation to this swirl of sound?
I enjoyed it very much. We were very influenced by the punk movement, let's say, at that time, but not by the music, more by the energy. Yes, and I thought it was always a pity. Beautiful, wild energy, but this old rock and roll, yes? Music with guitars. And so for me it was the perfect vehicle for my energy, yes?
Und ich im wirklichen Leben. Ich und ich in der Wirklichkeit. Ich fühle mich so seltsam. 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 Ich und ich im wirklichen Leben. Die Wirklichkeit kommt, Wirklichkeit kommt, Wirklichkeit kommt, Wirklichkeit kommt. Ich fühle mich so seltsam, ich fühle mich so seltsam, ich fühle mich so seltsam, ich fühle mich so seltsam. Ich und ich im wirklichen Leben. So seltsam, ich fühle mich 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 so seltsam. Ich und ich im wirklichen Leben.
The song which first I noticed and drew, I think, the attention of lots of people over here was Der Mussolini, not least because of its very provocative use of fascist icons. What was your thinking behind that? Because I know you got into quite a lot of trouble over it.
We knew it would cause trouble a little bit, because this word, especially at that time, completely taboo words, especially in Germany. Yes, don't mention Hitler. Yes, so and I wouldn't say that we like to provoke, but we like to uncover things. Yes, maybe interesting hidden things to uncover them, so that people have access, to it. And by using Mussolini, Jesus Christ, communism, Adolf Hitler, it was playing around with words and also with forbidden words.
And what sort of responses did you actually evoke in Germany? I mean, presumably a lot of people must have been very unhappy about this.
Yeah, some media guys also, they really took us into one corner, like maybe like in the Nazi corner, for example. So very just, this is that. And I found this very one-sided, kind of very illiberal from them, doing that.
Yeah.
Because we were much freer in our thoughts than how they put us in a corner, really much freer and much more tolerant. And okay, we played maybe with hot stuff or whatever, but we many times also really told them that we are not in that corner, or we are also not in the other corner. We are free. We really told them often.
We were playing around and we didn't want no limitations.
Yeah, we were the borderless guys.
And at the end you see that, especially like in Germany, you can see it very clearly that if something is forbidden, you create a myth. It's secrets, danger, taboo. That's interesting, yes? Because where is the right wing strongest? In the eastern part of Germany, where it was extremely forbidden. So there's where you find all these young men joining Nazi parties.
And the second album, I gather, was one where you really started to experience a bit of a serious media backlash. A lot of the more left-inclined media seemed to identify you as a fascist threat.
Some people did. I mean, a lot of people understood, but some did, and this was astonishing how we knew this would happen, but it was astonishing how harsh it was sometimes.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
One of the remarkable things about you, especially by modern standards, is just how prolific you were. I mean, I completely missed your second album, Golden Liebe. The next album I saw was the last one, as it turned out to be, Für immer. Golden Liebe came out only 6 months or something after the Alice is Good.
Yes, we were in a Rausch, you say.
We were fast.
We were working.
Yeah.
And we never cared so much about, let's say, mark strategies or normal mark. We had our special mark strategies, but
we were just ready. A short time after the first album, we made maybe a few gigs, a few live appearances, and then we were already ready to go to the studio again. It was really fast.
Yeah. There's a couple of tracks which I particularly like on Golden Liebe, one of which, referring to the point about how minimalist you became, is a pure rhythm track called Absolute Körperkontrolle. What was the thought behind that track? Gabby, sadly you weren't required to perform anything at that point. So Robert, what were you trying to achieve with that track?
This is like, I would say it's almost a ritual, like a vibe, like to show how you can make with one, more or less with a loop, a situation or atmosphere that just swings the room and says also everything. Just in one loop.
That was it says everything. That's why I didn't sing there. I mean, what should I sing there? It's finished. It's perfect.
It's just like almost like a tribal thing.
thing I didn't realise at the time, but which has come very strongly onto me later, is the fact that it was quite a radical thing that you did by singing in German.
Yes.
Very few German groups bothered to sing in German at that time.
It was very pure and very direct, and my German is much better than my English, and I can express myself in Spanish or German, but not really in English. And I was fascinated by the German language because I'm Spanish, and even when I was a child, I was fascinated by the German language. The sound, simply the sound, it is exaggerated German in a way. There's consonants everywhere, yes, a lot of syllables, yeah, and I love the German imperative, So, sounds so good.
And how did audiences react to being sung to in their native language, using a musical form which I suppose they thought of as being more American or...
That was
very
at this time
positive.
very positive because it was also new. People really wanted something new.
They felt self-expression.
It was like punk in England.
Yeah.
Like when the Sex Pistols came, like people really wanted like something wild or something new, a new change or whatever in sound. So it was in Germany, it was, people really took it and they liked it that now it's in German and it's new. Because before it was all the songs always were American songs or also English songs in English.
People were really happy because they understood everything. And this is good.
Yes. Made it more difficult for us over here, of course, but we don't mind working for our pleasures.
But see, even in England or France, America, everybody discovered D.A.F and people they listened to it and said, this sounds, how does that sound? Yeah, but it was interesting for people. It has this fascination also for an American person to listen to German lyrics. Why not?
Why was Für immer your last album? You only made 4 albums in total in a period of just over 2 years. Why was it that you decided to stop after Für immer?
We thought we always had just like the picture is finished. Yeah. Why paint another decoration or what? It was like finished. We wanted
For that time.
And we also wanted to. We saw it as important also to make this mark and to say it. So this is this, and now it ends. So.
Im Dschungel, mein Liebling, ist alles erlaubt.
It's got a different tone to it, this album. It's got some very funny tracks. I mean, I love the track Im Dschungel der Liebe, which starts for immer, because it has a kind of lightness which I hadn't heard in your music before. It surprises me. I mean, I take your point about the picture being finished, but it still surprises me that you didn't feel that there was more to explore, because certainly you seem to be heading off in a new direction on for immer.
Yeah, but there were a lot of things to explore.
But not as D.A.F.
I mean, there were love affairs, journeys. I mean, you know, and I think this is important. I know a lot of people, especially from the music business or pop stars or whatever, and the whole life is defined by their job and even what they think about themselves. Yeah, if you only have this role as identification, I think it's a pity, you know. We had to live, we have to do different things. I moved to Switzerland.
Other things came into the life.
Yes, this is also important, yes.
One of the great achievements, I think, of D.A.F was that you managed to make a very, very personal statement within music, which is quite difficult to impart that much personality to. And I wondered how you viewed the development of techno, which I think a lot of people do find to be slightly monotonous in its effect.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of contact with DJs at parties and stuff. The people at the moment, they're also a little bit fed up with the whole thing. Through this lack of personality, for instance, the lyrics in techno, take me high to the sky, you and me, ecstasy. Yes, this is too stupid. It's good for a while, yeah? But after a while, people are a little bit fed up, and all the projects are very anonymous, and so people are looking for more personality.
So, D.A.F to reform?
well, it's just recently that we came back together and started exchanging ideas.
Right.
But
we talk about it.
Good.
At least.
Well, I'm delighted to hear that. And in the meantime, the 3 albums have been re-released on CD, and anyone who hasn't made the acquaintance of them should certainly do so. Robert, Gabby, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you as well.
Oh, the wonderful D.A.F. It was so nice to meet them after all these years. We talked about 3 albums mainly. Their first 3 as a duo, Alles ist gut, Gold und Liebe and Für immer. They're available on the Mute label now on CD. And so is their very first album when they were actually a 5-piece, Die Kleinen und die Bosen. Slightly less interesting. We didn't actually touch on it, but it's there if you want it.